What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. We are back. My current training split is coming to an end, but we've got 2 more episodes to go. Today, it's a glorious hamstring and glute focus session. And I mean, for the ladies watching, this routine is gonna be perfect for you. But men, don't be neglecting your hamstrings and glutes, because nobody likes a man with no ass. And most men are actually quad dominant and actually lack in the hamstring department. So it needs to be done. And it's exactly why I've designed this split for myself, because I feel like my ass isn't as juicy as it could be right now. And I'm all about balance and proportion. Plus, having a stronger ass will improve your performance on the squat and the deadlift. So it's useful to do. So let's get cracking, shall we? We're starting off the routine with Romanian deadlift. So I'm not gonna do anything too crazy in terms of warming up. I'll do a couple of reps using just the bar, loosen the hamstrings, loosen the glutes, get some blood circulating in my lower body, and then I'm very gradually just gonna build the weight up. I'm probably gonna be going for 160 kilograms today, so there's gonna be quite a lot of warm-up sets. It's annoying, but it's the price to pay if you want to avoid injury. And I can tell you, I do not want any injuries. This is my life. And again. Bang. Bang. Very, very clean equipment. I think this gym is brand new. One thing about this exercise, the focus is glutes and hamstring. I think it's impossible to try and separate either. They're both going to get targeted. But your lower back is also going to be targeted as well. But the key is to not over-engage. What the hell am I doing? The key is not to over-engage it. I will demonstrate what I always tell everybody to do when doing this exercise, to have the intention of pushing the hips backwards as far back as possible until you feel the peak stretch on your hamstrings. This is what we're trying to achieve. When you reach that peak stretch and they don't stretch anymore, stop. The problem most people make is when they reach that stretch, they continue to lower the bar, and then they start to move the tension away from the hamstrings and they start rounding the lower back. So they're at the bottom of the movement where they think, yeah, I've gone really low because I'm supposed to go low, which is not the case. And then as they are at the bottom position, they initiate the movement, not by contracting the hamstrings, but by contracting the lower back first, and then thrusting forward. So what ends up happening is there's way too much stimulation of the lower back. And then they always wonder, like, oh my God, like, why is my back so chronically pumped when doing this exercise? Because they're overworking it. So we want to try and minimize how much your lower back is working. It's always going to work to some extent, but we want to focus on the glutes and the hamstrings. So push back, stretch, slight bend of the knee, and then thrust forward, okay? So it's hips back, hips forward, hips back, hips. Don't think about going bar down, bar up, bar down, bar up. So if you do that, your lower back's gonna do too much. Steady, steady on there, tiger. And the reason why I'm doing it flat-footed is to improve my stability. So I'm not rocking backwards and forwards, which I would be doing on those trainers. Those trainers are not designed to be lifting heavy weight. They're designed for running. And I highly recommend that you use straps when doing this exercise, particularly if you're going heavy, because when you do it without straps, you're really thinking far too much, or at least I am anyway, about maintaining that grip. So I focus more on trying to grip the bar instead of trying to focus on how I'm actually moving the weight. I'm gonna class this as my first working set. I've got 4 working sets to do. So my aim is to do 140 and then 160, 160, 160. And I'm gonna start the workout now, all right? There's no point in starting the workout when you're doing all our warm-ups. So Bosh, we're going. Tempo 3020. A little bit of whoop-de-whoop action. Strapped in, warmed up, focused, a little bit worried. Let's go. steady. Steady. Feeling strong as well. Put the 10s on. Oh, definitely need a little bit more of a break. I recommend with the heavy compound lifts, you give yourself a little bit more time to breathe in between the sets. So that's that exercise done. 3 working sets, 160, 1 working set, 140. And the thing is with this, like, I'll very rarely do deadlifts and Romanian deadlifts in the same split. You know, at the moment I'm doing the Romanian deadlift. Maybe on my next split I'll do deadlifts and I'll leave out the Romanian deadlifts. It's just a little bit too much on the lower back, I find. Next exercise is supposed to be a seated leg curl, but someone's using that. So we're just gonna go switch it around and do the Smith machine Bulgarian split squat. Now I really like this one. You could argue free weight split squats with a dumbbell or barbell is definitely more functional because you're working these stabilizing muscles. But I like the Smith machine because you can literally only go in one direction, up or down. You don't have to worry about balancing yourself. So you can really try and focus on trying to lift as heavy as possible. And the way that I'm doing it is I'm going to be targeting the glute. So instead of trying to keep the torso upright and push the knee out in front of the front foot like this, I'm going to take my foot, bring it a little bit further forward, and as I go down, I'm going to lean forward so I'm in this position. So I'm trying to get maximum stretch of the glute, and then I'm going to drive up and squeeze the glute on the way back up. Don't spread the weight over both legs. Put all the weight on the foot that is in front of you, and try and place all of the tension on the glute. Nice stretch, up, stretch, and up. I'm not locking out because locking out is basically just resting. I'll try and keep a bit of tension. Again, I don't want to go too deep. Going too deep, I end up leaning forward too much and applying too much tension to the lower back. Another bit of a warm-up set. Again, I don't want to gas myself too much because I've got quite a lot of working sets to go. Ten seconds rest before going into the next leg. Oh, straight up hard work. Oh, I think it was single leg exercises. Just like takes twice as long to do. Very tiring, but very effective. Every time I go super heavy on these, my glutes are so sore. What I tend to do is this: if you have a weaker leg, start with the weaker leg. And what I also do, each week I alternate which leg I begin with. So this week started with the right leg because last week I started with the left leg. Yeah, so it's just ensuring that I'm keeping things balanced, because if you keep always starting off fresh with the right leg, you might find that the right leg becomes a little bit more dominant. Oh, we don't want that. Oh, hello.
What are you doing here?
I'm here for your recommendation. You told me to come here.
Oh.
I heard there were some nice Brazilians here as well, so I just thought.
It's empty, so it's the right time to come.
Yeah.
What are you training? My favorite.
Yeah.
Show me.
All right. Oh, feel free to critique my form. The silence means that she is just shocked by the magnificence of the form. She's speechless. I always leave them speechless. Put my lifting goggles back on. Yep. Now ready for the third set. Ooh. Praise the Lord, we're finished with them. Thankfully you can move on to a machine now. not lower back. Okay, now seated leg curl. Giving myself a delicious 5 sets to do, but the tempo is quite quick on these. So 2 second negative, 1 second, pause in a lengthened position, then X. X means explode, so I'm gonna explode down, hold the squeeze for 1 second, and then back up. 8 reps. This is probably one of my favorite hamstring exercises because your body is so locked into position. Once you've got the pad pressed as firmly as possible on your quads, there's no room for me to move at all, which is perfect. I make sure I'm pushing myself back into the pad, so I'm always pushing against the handles, and that way I'm not kind of tempted to lift my bum up and use other muscle groups to move that weight. The only movement that's occurring is at my knees, which is exactly what I want. Another thing I would say as well, which is very important, foot positioning. I put your knees about fist apart, toes pointing upwards, right? I remember I used to train some clients and they'd do it like that. And I'd be like, whoa, 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 that is gonna cause havoc on the knees. So ensure everything is pointing upright, okay? That is that done, 5 sets. Just inputting the weight, which I've done, 64. Pretty short rest period in between them. I was not messing about. It's an intense workout, this one. Next, doing barbell hip thrust. I would actually say out of all the exercises I've done in my lifting career, I've not really done them a whole lot, but I've started to incorporate them more recently because I think they're a very good exercise. A lot of the time I was doing it wrong. Whenever I used to do these, I used to do them so wrong for quite a long period of time. I always used to thrust up and stick my head right back, so I put a lot of strain onto my neck. Now, I realize I must keep my head in line with my torso, thrusting up, but keeping my chin down in this fashion. And of course, when we do this, we need some nutsack protection, because without a pad, it is absolutely brutal. So 3 working sets, let's go. Always get such a head rush after these. Whoa. It's not the most comfortable of exercises, that's for sure. I could go a bit heavier, but I mean, this is what I was doing last week. I should probably go heavier. Go on, stop being a little wimp. Let's do 160. Hey? Oh! Fucking crushing my hips. Feels very uncomfortable today. It was resting here. Maybe because I'm getting leaner. Over my years as a trainee and a trainer, I've worked with coaches in the past who've helped to critique my form. And I don't think I've ever done this exercise with a coach. So I have actually never been coached through this exercise. I try coach myself. I try look at the videos and see where there's room for improvement. But sometimes there's nothing better than having an actual expert critique your form and pick out things which you didn't even realize you were doing. Whew, flagging a little bit now. Gonna do some lying leg curls. I think lying leg curls are good, but if I had to pick seated leg curl or lying leg curl, seated leg curl all the way. First of all, because you can lock yourself in position more. I find with this one, it's very easy for your hips to come off the bench, your bum to come up and your lower back to start taking a bit of tension. I notice when I do this heavy, I get a bit of, I just get a lower back pump. Another reason why I prefer the seated leg curl is because the weight setup, when you're in this position, your hamstrings are in the fully lengthened position. When you're in this setup, they're lengthened, but they're not quite as lengthened if you were in that seated position. So basically, simply put, you've got a greater range of motion with the seated leg curl, which is going to be optimal for actually growing the hamstrings. But it's not to say that the lying leg curls are useless, they're still effective. So we're going to do it today. We're going for a 3-second negative, 12 reps. Last one, as you can see on the app, you see this a lot on the 3rd or 4th week in yellow. These are just additional things which I want you to do to either increase the intensity, volume, or change the stimulus a little bit. So drop set, pretty self-explanatory, I'll talk about that later, but a rest pause. Basically, I'm gonna go for 12 reps. Once I've done my 12 reps, I'm gonna pop the weight down, rest for about 10 seconds, then I'm gonna go again, do as many reps as possible, rest, another 10 seconds, and then go again, another however many reps as possible. Rest 10 seconds, and go again. And rest, and last one. Hamstrings are toast. One more exercise. What a fun little device this is. Oh, it's actually very good. As awkward as it feels, like I feel like I'm not going through a full range of motion, but that restricted range of motion just means that it's like constantly on the glutes. So it's actually pretty good. Unfortunately, it's probably the least masculine exercise you could possibly choose in this gym. At the end of the day, we're just trying to finish off our glutes. And sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Oh yeah.
Every other day.
Oh yeah.
He's stopping those glutes.
Zoom in. Oh, what a long ass workout. And I would like to tell you, my ass is on fire. As ridiculous as this looks, it's very well built. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. Gotta build that ass. Huh? Can't have no pancake ass. We need some big glutes. Big glutes in this bitch. Oh my goodness. Shout out to those crazy bastards who came up with this machine. I think it's working. I think it's working. Blam! As the session done, a little bit of a long one, 75 minutes. It was good. I definitely recommend that one for the ladies because, you know, who doesn't love a cheeky finisher with the hip abductor. I'm not even joking, that one actually finished my glutes off. So we now have one session left to go, which is delts, biceps, and triceps. So that will be done tomorrow, and that'll be up on the channel in a couple of days' time, hopefully. So if you want to sign up to the app, go to thirstofficial.com. You can sign up for 1 month, quarterly or annually. Obviously, if you sign up annually, you're going to be saving a lot of money. And this has pretty much every single thing that you could possibly need in order to get yourself in optimal condition for the summertime. And if you want more of a customized VIP experience where you have access to me as one of your coaches, then I recommend you sign up to the 16-week transformation program. Again, the description, the link to that is in the description. That's what I meant. Time for me to go home. Shout out to Protein House for the protein shake as well. Absolutely delicious. Get the Hulk. Highly recommend. See you later.